Hey guys, so as of this recording, I am in Florida, so pre-recorded a little team update right before I leave. If you guys want to watch the NHL 23 World Championship All-Star Open, that'll be on twitch.tv/NHL. Link should be down below, but I hope you guys check that out as we look to crown an All-Star Open champion. But enough of that, let's take a look at the God Squad. It's been a little while since I've given you guys an update, made some changes and some new additions that I'm kind of excited about, but we'll just briefly touch on all of the, the big ones. So Nathan MacKinnon, his Team of the Year card is pretty much as advertised. It has been absolutely phenomenal. Loved this card, and I've just got unstoppable force on him. I've started to throw close quarters on a little bit because I'm starting to run behind the net on my first line, and doing all the behind the net stuff. Close quarters seems to help out. Truculence, well, I think it's awesome if you've got if you've got the ability point space to use it. I don't know if he necessarily needs it, but I have found if someone plays at the point with the puck a little bit, anytime you've got Nathan MacKinnon near him, you can just bump him off, and it's basically a breakaway against. You can also do elite edges, but he's got 97 agility on the one I'm using anyways, so kind of just thought I would spread some things out elsewhere. We've got the 97 fantasy Tim Stützle, who has been one of my favorite cards. He's got elite edges on unstoppable force as my first line center. Haven't really needed to activate tape to tape. I think it's one of the worst abilities in the game, but he's essentially 99 everything. The only thing that I would like to see is if he had gold unstoppable force, but you can't really complain against essentially a maxed out card. So 2 more goals and he will be a 99 as well. So I hope anyone that's listened to me in terms of what fantasy master sets to make, you guys are happy, because this Tim Stützle card is phenomenal. Next up, we've got the 92 Connor McDavid, who has been one of my better cards in terms of offense in champs and rivals. Basically just have unstoppable force on him. I've thrown elite edges on him, but again, I'm trying to spread some things out, and again, I think unstoppable force now, with how the game is played with so many players with truculence, especially defenders now, it's just such a dominant thing to have in this game, because it basically negates truculence if you've got someone that has really high balance or strength, things like that. So just using unstoppable force on him, but he feels faster than 99. I don't know how else to say that. He's just going to be one of the best cards for the rest of the game. Next, we've got Mario Lemieux. I'm not gonna lie, if I was at this stage right now and I've got Mario Lemieux, I'd probably stay with the 2000s version of Mario Lemieux, and the only reason is because none of these abilities are worth activating. And on the early 2000s one, there's a few, and again, at 99, you have to remember, this is my logic here is that at 99, all attributes are going to get there. Right now, the younger Mario Lemieux has such a significant advantage just in terms of the skating and things like that, because he did get fly the zone as his last synergy upgrade. So he will get upgraded as of, well, this time this recording to his 93, and he should, I believe, get a skating upgrade. So he will be at 97 speed, 95 acceleration. So have that to look forward to. But if you were someone who just got Mario, I'd probably just stay with the 2000s version. Second line center is Jay Beagle, and man, I would just love some card art. But nonetheless, this Jay Beagle card, some of the team builders throughout the last 2 years now that they've been in the game have just felt so much better than their attributes and things say they should. 63209. I'll give a perfect example here. This one just has quick draw. If you guys use that All-Star Johansson, he was a great card, but to me, Beagle felt far better, and there's really no reason as he should, because Johansson has unstoppable force, and I would much rather have that than quick draw. But I do like having one player with gold quick draw and 99 faceoffs, because I know that essentially means I'm going to win every faceoff, or at least 70% of them, when I've got Jay Beagle out there. So if you haven't made a team builder yet, Jay Beagle would be the one I would go out and make. Then we've got the Edmonton Oilers, Wayne Gretzky. I would love to be able to get elite edges and unstoppable force activated on here, but I wouldn't really recommend putting 12 ability points into someone that's not going to play on the first line. And while he could, I mean, just Team of the Year McDavid is just far and away one of the best cards you're going to use in the game. Really no complaints here. Obviously, he's one of the better cards, and if you are able to still chase icons, he's definitely the best one, even better than Mario Lemieux. Maybe at 99, we'll see some things, but if you have elite edges and unstoppable force activated on him, he's absolutely nuts to use. All right, on to my newest addition. All right, I had a couple options for this spot. Third line, right-handed winger. All right, there was a couple options I could have gone with. I have an X Factor Barzal that I could have upgraded. I had Mike Gardner. I had 92 Wayne Simmons. The reason I went with the 88 Mike Gardner, a couple things. He's already got max skating. He's already 99 speed, and I think that on the third line, on this team at least, that's a significant advantage. He's 6'1", 190, which is basically the same size as Wayne Simmons. And now the one knock is his kind of agility is a little bit lower, but when you get Magician activated on him, his deking, puck control, and agility is all into the 90s essentially, so there's really no complaints there. On the third line, I can't really activate abilities. Like, I don't want to slot in ability points on the third line because they're just not going to see as much ice time, obviously, as the other two. So I think that you have to take that into account. Do cards that you're going to use on your bottom lines, they need to be ability point driven, or sorry, attribute driven and not ability point driven, because again, cards significantly change in terms of their value based on abilities. And if you're not going to activate any, then you've got to look at the size as well as the, the actual attributes. And when you consider, X Factor Barzal on my no money spent team is one of my favorite cards. He's one of the best cards I've used all year round for sure, but I'm not going to activate Elite Edges on him, which makes him basically Mike Gardner, just a little bit slower, and Mike Gardner is going to keep upgrading every single month. Barzal will probably get, what we call a charity upgrade, where it's just randomly he'll get upgraded, but at least with Mike Gardner, I know that he is for sure going to get an upgrade every single month. So February 1st is going to come along, and he is going to get a skating increase. Obviously, his speed's not going to go up, but his balance, his endurance, as well as his acceleration will hit 95, and then his shot is just far better than Matthew Barzal, so that is why I went with Mike Gardner. I'm excited to try him out. I haven't used him yet. He is very cheap, guys. Like, it is not going to cost you a ton to get this card, which is about 100k on the market, and then upgrade him. It's basically one Hut Champs run if you can get 11 wins. So keep that in mind. I think this is a really good, decent value, and I'm excited to use him. Then on the third line, we've got the 92 Auston Matthews, 6'3", 208. I did put Unstoppable Force on him here. His shot feels better than his stats indicate, and this card is better than Jay Beagle's, but for whatever reason, just based on feel, I don't think he is just yet. When he gets his upgrades to 93 and 94, he is definitely going to be my second or even my first line center because he is much bigger than Tim Stützle. But again, it's just where we're at right now. I thought about throwing Quick Draw on him, but I think that I'm going to go with Unstoppable Force, and I actually just have to mess around with my synergies and get Thief on him because he will go up to 90 on the faceoff dot, which is more than fine. So that is my third line center in Auston Matthews. Then we've got one of my favorite team builders definitely all year. This Gary Roberts card to me has felt incredible. I built him on my no money spent team, and he has been one of my better cards all year, well, since he was released. I don't have any abilities activated on him. The only one, in my opinion, I think you need is Unstoppable Force, but again, he's on my third line, so it's not really something that I'm worrying about too much. But all in all, fast, big, hits hard, even without truculence, and just all in all, once you make Beagle, Roberts would be my second one. Then on the fourth line, we've got the 92 Daniel Briere. I think that I haven't really found him all that great, but what I've done is essentially whenever he gets out there, I just beeline down the boards with him, throw on Crash the Net. I'm not going to activate any abilities on him. It's just a size thing. Like, there's really not much you can do. I think he's a fine, skater, and he buries on the breakaway, and I don't know if it's just because he has more control because he's a little bit smaller. I don't know, but I have really liked this card, but he's on the fourth line until I find someone else that I would, I'd rather put on here, and I could have kept Wayne Simmons at 92, but I don't think the advantage that Wayne Simmons gives without any abilities activated, beats Daniel Briere without any abilities activated. Then my fourth line center, I've just made the 92 Tyler Seguin, haven't played with him just yet, and the reason why I made him, I downgraded Ryan Johansson and made Tyler Seguin. And the reason why is because, again, on your third and fourth pairings, guys, you have to remove the ability point from the equation. Now, Ryan Johansson with Unstoppable Force, in my opinion, is probably better than 92 Seguin with Elite Edges. Again, I think that you could play Tyler Seguin on the wing with Elite Edges, and he's going to be phenomenal. But that being said, he's not going to have any abilities activated on my fourth line. He does have 99 faceoffs, 93 speed and acceleration, 99 agility, and a fantastic shot. Like, on most teams, this is going to be your number one center, essentially. And he's very versatile because he can play on the wing or center very, very easily. So he slots in as my number 4 centerman, and I'll wait. Again, I don't really see any reason to move on from him at all. And then my fourth line left-handed winger is the 92 Todd Bertuzzi. And if I had to do it over again, I probably wouldn't make Todd Bertuzzi. Not because he's a bad card, guys, but again, it depends on your team makeup. If you're not going to activate truculence, you're not going to activate close quarters. There's a lot of other cards that are very, very similar. Now, he is 91 speed, 92 acceleration, and 6'3", 225. He throws everyone off the puck, and I think he's a decent pair with Daniel BRIERE, but he hasn't done anything crazy for me, and he'll probably be my next, downgrade or removed off the team once they come out with a really, really impactful left-handed winger. I don't think Joe Sakic was that, so that's why Todd Bertuzzi's still on the team. On to defense, we've got the 92 SHEA Weber, who in my opinion right now is the best right-handed defenseman. He's probably the best defenseman that isn't a fantasy card, and obviously those are very, very hard to come by now, so really not much you can do with that. 92 speed, 92 acceleration. Haven't really gotten to play a ton of games with him, but you definitely notice him defensively. Like, truculence is insane, and I've heard that people have been scoring clean D-to-D one-timers with him because of that 99 slap shot power and accuracy, so that's something I'm going to start messing around with. I just don't do that because in NHL 23 you just haven't really, so but he is extremely fun to use, and if you were going to make one card from the All-Star event, it would have been SHEA Weber. Then we've got my favorite flex card, the 98 Cam Fowler. I bought this card for like $550K at launch of the event, and I just had a feeling that if you could score a couple goals, because he was already such a good skater, that you could sort of use him in your lineup regardless of your team and just wait for him to score more. And then he popped off with 2 goals late and got up to a 98 overall, and he's 1 goal away from being 99. He did get silver stick him up, which is awesome, and then he's 99 everything else. This is one of my favorite cards to use. His shot is sneaky good even before hitting 99 everywhere. His wrist shot from the point has just gone in cleanly a ton, so just something to keep in mind there. Then we've got the team of the year, CALE MAKAR. Again, in my opinion, probably the best right-handed defenseman. The only reason he's knocked a little bit from SHEA Weber is just because SHEA Weber's so dominant in his own zone. That's what kind of separates it. But if you use CALE MAKAR correctly, he's still the best right-handed defenseman. And what I mean by correctly is you literally take him with the puck from your own zone and you straight line either on a diagonal or just down the boards, and you're going to be able to make a cut in and basically have a 2-on-1 or a breakaway every time that you use him, or catch someone else's team that's a little bit slower. The only ability I think you need to activate on him is shutdown, because shutdown works even in your own zone. It says off the rush, but it works pretty much everywhere, and because of that, it allows you to get those big truculence hits, those big stick 'em up plays. It's kind of an all-in-one, so that's the only one that I would activate on CALE MAKAR. Then we've got Jake Gardiner, who has been surprisingly fun. He has felt like a left-handed CALE MAKAR, only 6'2". I'd throw stick 'em up on there, but he's just been all around very, very good and much faster, and his shot's been really good. This one was a big surprise. I made all the team builders, but this is the one that was probably the biggest surprise. And then lastly, on defense, we've got the 92 Brent SEABROOK with truculence activated. Again, I think that just having the ability to throw anyone around with truculence is a significant advantage. 6'3", 220. He has felt faster than 91 speed, and the only reason he's down here is because I have CALE MAKAR and SHEA Weber. So, if not, he'd be the #1 defenseman probably, but very, very good, and he's going to be on the team for a little bit longer. Lastly, we've got team of the year Roman Josi. I know a lot of people have given him high praise. I just haven't really found him to be all that great. I don't have anything activated on him, which might lead into it, but I knew when I made him that he was probably the one that I could have skipped, just in terms of value, I think. But, I made him, and the double synergy slot gives him a lot of value right there, but I'm not going to activate anything on him, and his skating is kind of, ho-hum compared to the other cards that are at the position. So, something to keep in mind there. Not that he's a bad card, but he is going to sit there on my third pairing. All right, then we've got goaltenders. There has never been a year in NHL where goaltenders have been in as bad a spot as they've been than this year, and it isn't because of some crazy new shots or anything like that. It is simply because goaltender animations are broken. They've added in human goalie animations, and it has absolutely bricked the position. There's times where your guy someone skates out from the corner, and your goalie will just go down in a pad stack. I'm literally using 90 KRISTERS GUDLEVSKIS because I don't really care, but he's got an under 80 save percentage and a 2.87 goals against, but I have 123 wins, 78 losses in just champs and rivals. I have no faith in him. I'm going to look for a new goalie. I just haven't found someone that I really wanted to. Martin Brodeur does not appear to be it from all of the reports that I've got in the community. So he'll just sit there until I see someone that is just a slam dunk, or I just give up, because yeah, he has not been great to use, but he's who I'm using still. All right, guys, so that is the team. Well, give me some questions. Do you have questions about my lineup, or maybe some questions about your lineup in terms of where you want to place them, or ability points? I'd love to help you out. And again, if you haven't tuned into the NHL 23 World Championships, make sure to check that out. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.